You're watching Go Island. We're in the vibrant dance studios in Nanaimo. We're going to talk about hip-hop fusing with modern contemporary dance. It's all because of an upcoming show, Leaving Traces. There's that and more on this edition of Go. Today on Go Island, tearing a strip off poverty in Parksville, a tractor trip across Canada, and a road trip back in time through aviation. That's today on Go. We are here in the vibrant dance studios in Nanaimo. Why? Because we're sort of sitting in on a semi-rehearsal, if we can call it that, for Leaving Traces. It's a Crimson Coast Dance Society presentation at Malaspina Theatre on September the 29th. Now, I don't think there was a dance community in Nanaimo 15 years ago until Holly Bright came along and started Crimson Coast Dance Society, and now there is most definitely a world-class contemporary dance community in Nanaimo, and the upcoming performance is sort of a tribute to that, really. It was a long time coming, but what you had hoped for a while ago.
It's been remarkable, very rewarding to have the opportunity to present, to realize that there are actually choreographers in town who are working and taking their work out of town. And I stay in communication with the dance studios and had an opportunity to present emerging voices, which are dancers who are just getting their chops together with their choreography. They're at a professional level, they've finished their basic training, and it's like any job. If you don't have the experience, you can't get the job, and you can't get the experience until you have the job. So our place as a presenter of contemporary dance and our responsibility to our community and to our funders is to make sure that there's a place for emerging artists to have their voice and to express it and get the opportunity to start their careers.
Well, the fact that we're going to see contemporary modern dance on stage at the same time as hip-hop, maybe even in the same piece, what does that say about the state of dance today, do you think?
There is a lot of fusion. There's a way that dancers are taking many art forms and mixing them and matching them, whether they're dance genre or multimedia performances from different art disciplines. So hip-hop and contemporary dance artists are constantly intermixing their work, and
that's what Melisa is doing
That's what
behind
Melissa's
us
doing
now.
right now.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about the fusion of hip-hop and modern dance. Is there a difference between modern dance and contemporary dance? Are they interchangeable?
The name changes. Contemporary dance, by its very definition, keeps redefining itself and staying current. And so the name changes a bit. It's been anything from free dance to interpretive dance to modern dance, and now it's called contemporary dance.
Okay. And final question, I just have always so many. People are a bit scared of it. Sometimes, you know, you go to a show and you kind of think, what was that?
Okay, here's the
I know we've
deal.
had this conversation before.
We are meaning makers. Human beings make meaning. Every time we see people interacting, we make up a story. If we don't hear what they're saying, we decide what it is that's happening between those people. And that's what you do when you go to see any kind of dance performance, even ballet. You sit in the audience, let the experience wash over you. There's a way that your emotions and feelings and your relationship to what's happening on stage based on your own life experience will inform for you what the story is. And you'll sit by someone who has a completely different story based on their own experience of seeing people interacting and seeing the human body in movement. And that's another way that contemporary dance has evolved. There was a time when the choreographers wanted you to get the story, and now they want you to get a story. It's becoming more global and less personal, which is also what's happening in the world today.
Thanks, Holly. And you know, you have that experience anytime you look at a painting, anytime you read a book. What story you create in your head is the story that you were meant to hear in that particular experience. And what is life if not a series of experiences that move to make us better people in the end? Wow, dance can do that. We're going to be back with more on Leaving Traces on this edition of Go Island. But before we do that, we're going to head up to Campbell River. Marjorie Greaves goes into the bunker, I think they're called, looks under the hood, not of a car, of an airplane. Before we do that, tear a strip off poverty. If you're a woman, you might know what it feels like to have hair ripped off your body with a strip of wax. Well, it's the guy's turn. Here's Kelly Robinson. I don't know if that would be the job for me repairing airplanes. I could certainly get on one and take a vacation anytime, and I think I'll just leave it at that. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. I'm Kate Bergen, and we'll be back with more on this edition from the Vibrant Dance Studio. We're talking about leaving traces from the Crimson Coast Dance Society. Still ahead on Go Island, a couple ends their cross-Canada tractor trip at Victoria's Mile Zero and bringing BC's aviation past into the future. That's still ahead on Go. Melisa Jones. She's performing in Leaving Traces with Crimson Coast Dance Society at Malaspina Theatre on Saturday, September the 29th. We're here at Vibe Dance Studio in Nanaimo. You're watching Go Island. What was that, Melisa?
That's actually my dance style. It's called contemporary modern fusion with hip hop. So it's very contorted, creepy kind of style.
It's almost break dance-ish. Is that where the hip hop comes in a little bit?
Not really. Breakdancing is more like the footwork on the ground.
Okay.
I'm scared of the ground. I don't do the ground very well. So I took my modern moves that I really liked, that looked cool, and put my hip hop fusion into it, because I am a hip hop dancer.
Okay.
I always have been. So taking a move and putting a chest pop into it instead of grounding.
How big of a deal is it for you to have a performance here in Nanaimo?
Honestly, it's actually a pretty big deal for myself, because it's never been my own choreography I've taken off the island or anywhere other than in my own home or the studio. And to be able to perform it myself is absolutely amazing. And I'm so proud to be able to say, hey mom, look at me. I'm here performing my heart out. And the piece I'm actually will be performing is something I've worked on for about 2 years.
Wow.
Not ready to show anyone, no one's ever seen it. And it's about someone that misses a person in their life and hasn't seen them in a while, but the only way they can see them is when they're dreaming.
Is this a career for you? Is this your early stages of a professional dance career?
I believe so. There's a couple kids that I've been teaching since they were 6 years old. So it's really exciting for me to bring out my talent to others that have actually asked me this year. I have a solo and duet that they've begged me a couple times to do, so.
Awesome. Well, we'll look for you in headlines to come, and we'll see Melisa Jones in Leaving Traces at Malaspina Theatre on Saturday night. That's September the 29th. We're going to be back here at the Vibrant Dance Studio later on this edition of Go Island. But in the meantime, from hook to plate, it's a program called This Fish, which is an initiative of Eco Trust Canada. I had the pleasure of working on that story a little while back. But before we revisit that, we're going to check in with Dan Kahn. Traveling the country, well, it's been done on foot, it's been done on bicycle, it's been done on airplane, it's been done by car. Now it's also been done by tractor. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Today, we're just kind of getting vibrant at the Vibe Dance Studios here in Nanaimo, leading up to a performance presented by Crimson Coast Dance Society. It's called Leaving Traces. Now, Jennifer McLeish-Lewis has two pieces in the show. One you choreographed for 5 dancers, and another one was choreographed for you.
That's right, yeah.
And you're the lady on the poster.
This is me. If you see the poster around town, that's me.
Now, what are you more excited about, nervous about, working on, separating, choreography from performance?
Well, that's a good question, because I'm nervous for both for different reasons. One of them is a solo for myself, made by my choreographer Dalek, and he's from Vancouver, and he made the piece for me about 4 years ago, so it's a remount of that piece. And it's always nerve-wracking going on stage.
By yourself?
Alone to do a solo.
Yeah.
But it's also very vulnerable to show your own choreography, because I'm responsible for the movement in that piece and for what the dancers do.
What's the collaboration with Crimson Coast been like?
It's been great. Yeah, I feel really honored that Holly asked me to be a part of this, and so grateful to be here. I'm spending more and more time over here because my boyfriend lives here.
And because the dance community is so
And the
strong.
dance community is really fun. Yeah. I've actually performed with a different dance company presented by Crimson Coast before in the Malaspina Theater 2 years ago. So I've had a relationship with Holly since then.
You're going to show us a little piece. Jennifer's going to show us a little piece. The name of the piece is...
The name of this solo is Leaving Traces.
Okay, so it's sort of the title piece of the show on the 29th.
The title track.
Title track, I guess. I didn't know what the lingo was in the dance world. Set it up for us, because we're not going to play any music. So what...
It's, the piece is about memory and how we leave traces on people's lives as we move through our life. People leave traces on our lives and we leave traces on their lives, and it's about just that, I guess, memory and moving through life and affecting others.
Okay, well, we're going to let Jennifer do what she does best, I'll go so far to say, which is dance, if not choreograph. And after we see a little bit of the performance Leaving Traces, we're going to throw things over to Dunya Tozy. She takes us on a Quality Assured Collision road trip to a museum in Langley, looking at the role that aviation plays in the history of British Columbia and how the museum there is trying to bring the past into the future. I'll take the poster.
Thank you.
This is Jennifer. There's Jennifer. Dunya, we do miss her here in Nanaimo. She's working over on the mainland now. She deflected, I guess. No, we're kidding. She's still working for Shaw, and that is good news. Leaving Traces from Crimson Coast Dance Society runs at Malaspina Theater, VIU Theater. I think they kept the name Malaspina. On Saturday, September the 29th, you can visit crimsoncoastdance.org for full details, and you can even purchase your tickets there. And you know what? I think I've got a date. Kimberly Plumley, who you've seen on the show here on Shaw TV, has invited me. I'll see you Saturday night, the 29th, at Leaving Traces. Thanks for watching this edition of Go Island. We'll see you next time.